I'm Federico Formica, one of the developers of the search-based software testing tool ATheNA. This video presents the introduction to the tool, an installation guide, and a tutorial on one of the examples provided in the repository. ATheNA is a search-based software testing black box tool for simulink models. Compared to other existing tools, it combines an automatically generated and a manually defined fitness values. This allows the engineers to use their knowledge of the model to help in the test case generation. It uses an iterative approach that keeps generating test cases, executing the model, and checking the requirement. The test case generation is part of an optimization problem that minimizes the fitness value. Let's start with an intuitive example. Our requirement is that the car speed must be below 115 miles per hour within the first 20 seconds. The automatic fitness value will prioritize test cases with a high maximum speed. But intuitively, we know that the most critical cases are the ones with a high throttle, as they are more likely to produce high speeds. We can therefore define a manual fitness value that prioritizes test cases with a high throttle. These two fitness functions are complementary, as one targets the system input while other targets the output. This way we can generate critical test case faster than using either separately. We can see now that the iterative process is in action, with the system using test cases with an increasing throttle profile and an increasing maximum velocity, until the requirement is violated. To install ATheNA, we can start by cloning the GitHub repository. The link is in the description to this video. To save memory, we recommend downloading only the main branch of the repository, since it contains the most recent stable version of ATheNA. Here, I'm now cloning just the main branch. Okay, perfect. Now we can download Staliro. ATheNA is a plugin built on top of Staliro, so it requires a clean installation to work. Staliro can be downloaded from this website. The link is in the description to the video and also on the GitHub documentation. This will allow us to download a clean version of Staliro in this folder. We can now see that in our main demonstration folder we have the repository cloned from GitHub and the zip folder for Staliro. We can now unzip this repository, rename it to a more familiar name like Staliro, and move it inside the ATheNA repository. Okay. We can now open MATLAB to check if our MATLAB installation satisfies all the requirements for running ATheNA. To run the tutorial, the system requires an installation of MATLAB R 2016b or newer version. In addition, we also need to check some add-ons. Specifically, ATheNA requires to have Simulink installed on the system, and also the signal processing toolbox. So make sure these two extensions are installed on MATLAB before trying to run it. Then Staliro needs to compile some function for the specific operating system under consideration. This process is automated, but it requires to have a MATLAB supported compiler on your machine. You can check from the official MATLAB documentation which one is supported for your specific operating system. The link to this documentation is in the video description. Specifically, for example, in my case, I have a Mac, so I need to check which compilers are acceptable for Mac's file compilation. In this case, I have Xcode that is already set up with MATLAB, so I'm good to go. I can now go back to MATLAB, open our GitHub repository, and I can proceed to finalize the installation of ATheNA. To do this, we need to use the script configure ATheNA. So first I need to add to the path the source folder with both folder and subfolders. Then I can use the function configure ATheNA This is a function that accepts only one input argument, and that is the name of the folder containing Stalivo. In this case, I just call it Stalivo, so I can paste it like this. This function basically replaces some functions contained in the original Stalivo version and proceeds to compile all the max files for running Stalivo. Sometimes it happens that this process gets interrupted and cannot finish safely. In such a case, make sure that at least dp Taliro has been compiled, as that is the default function for robustness computation of Stalivo, and it's enough to actually run the tool. Now has finished compiling our files, and the installation of ATheNA is completed. Now I can run ATheNA on any model I want. This concludes our installation guide. Please check our other video on a walkthrough through a demonstration on how to apply ATheNA on a Simulink model. Thank you for your attention.